The purpose of researching special education and sharing this information is to show how the idea of special education differs per person. Through this stream of interviews of students and teachers of the Arts Academy at Benjamin Rush, you will be able to see the way people think and feel differently on the subject of special education. Interviewees were asked to share their opinion on what special education is.
I think it's mostly about how do we create a school that that gives access to all students, right? So special education is a particular part of the school that says there are students that maybe learn in this way or have this particular barrier to learning, and special education is the part of that school that says, okay, that may be true, so let's figure out how can we help you have access to what everybody's doing.
To me, it's just people who might need like extra help with school or something like that.
To me, I think special education is education or teaching and learning for students or individuals who need or who have specific needs.
I mean, I don't really see learning support as good as somebody who probably didn't have it does, because I'm so used to it that it's just my daily flow thing. I don't even see it as anything different from regular education.
To me, is just a group of people who need more help in what, rather than the normal pace that other people get, so they just get like special attention, like more like looked at, more help, just basically further in depth, like they just take it slower piece by piece.
To me, I guess, in general, special education just means that you accommodate the different learning styles and the different ways that students have of learning and presenting information.
Special education to me is my normal education. It means that I have help and I have support and I'm not alone. Special education to me is giving me 5 more minutes on a test because I read a little bit longer than everybody else. Special education to me is being able to leave class when I'm being way too hyper and I can't control myself. I can walk out the class real quick and I can calm myself down and just relax, and I can go back in class, no questions asked. Special education to me is it's kind of like having a guardian next to you when you need it most. And they help me get through school and I really, really like it. Thank you for that.
Within special education, there are various types of learning support.
Having someone to support me, it's a wonderful thing because I used to feel alone and I didn't understand what I was doing.
Learning support, I think it's when a student needs something beyond what you're able to provide in the classroom. For example, when I think about a lot of my students who are considered learning support students, they usually have a specific advisor that they meet with who helps them, who knows what are some of the best ways to work with them and to get them to complete their work, to get them to feel comfortable doing their work, to get them to learn, and to get them to really be able to participate in the school as any student who is not part of the special education program.
To me, learning support is anything that literally supports the learning.
Learning support to me is one of the central parts of what special education is. So learning support is, I think, is the main thrust of special education in that it's supporting students in the classroom toward them having success in the classroom. So it means doing that whether it's pulling out into another classroom or doing that in their general ed classroom. It's kind of like the heading for what I do on a daily basis. Yeah.
Experiences with special education really depends on the person and their background. Here are some stories.
When I came here, I used to not ask for help and I used to not get my accommodations. And then I had a conversation with Miss Dare, and I never knew what exactly what I had and what my accommodations were until she actually introduced everything to me. So She used to tell me that to like not listen to other people, that just my brain, like it just functions differently than everybody else's. And every time someone would like call me stupid or like say something like you're slow, I would just ignore them because I'm just as smart as they are and my grades show it. So
In Catholic school, I would always get made fun of. All the girls I always liked, they would never like me. They always called me ugly, or they always called me annoying because I would always fidget around. I would always move my hands too much and bang on the desk and move my legs and my feet and talk too much. That's just like a characteristic of ADHD. And I felt I would always apologize for it, and I never really understood like that I was different. I just thought I really was annoying, and I was special. I was retarded. I even at one point would like make fun of myself for it. And as I get older, I realize that I'm still a lot more hyper than people, and yeah, sometimes I get distracted easily, and it takes me a little bit to understand certain things, but that's okay.
Well, when I went to in middle school, that's when it really like hit me because people used to tease me all the time, and like I didn't have much friends. Like I didn't until 8th grade. Like everybody started like starting to notice me, but before that, like everybody teased me. I stayed in with my class and no one else, and if I did make new friends, I felt like they really didn't like me. Like they just were my friends just to like make fun of me behind my back to their friends. And I was very like self-conscious, and I'm still am like I have to sit in the back of the classroom, or I have to sit against the wall. I can't let anybody like. I feel like everybody's looking at me. All because of middle school when I used to get teased, but I'm fighting through it, and I'm kind of getting there and not really bothering me, but yeah.
I think 1st and 2nd grade, kindergarten below, I went to St. Catherine's, or no, Our Lady of Calvary, and it's a Catholic school, but because I had ADHD, I wasn't allowed to go because they don't do special needs children there. And I mean, I didn't realize till I was older, but now that I think about it, it's like a terrible reason to keep a kid in school.
I chose this career for a bunch of reasons. I think probably the most important one, or the one that sticks out to me, is I suspect that I was an unidentified special education student when I was in school. So as a result, I think I struggled a great deal. And so, and it took me a long time to get myself together academically, even after high school. So I think that put a particular sort of seed in me of, I have a sense of what it's like to not be sure how to access and be a part of a school.
It takes different people different amounts of time to get comfortable with having a learning disability and having other people be aware of it.
I would definitely say when I was younger, I wasn't comfortable with it. I didn't like the fact that I had it. I felt singled out because I wasn't up to date with the whole class. Like nowadays, I feel totally comfortable with it. People understand that I'm a little stubborn when it comes to reading, doing math, and my friends around me understand. I don't even feel singled out because of it.
Back in 7th grade when I took my testing for education, I didn't feel comfortable with my friends knowing it because I felt like I was a freak and I wasn't comfortable at all. But once I reached high school and I had a learning support teacher, she taught me that it's okay to have learning disability. It doesn't mean you're different, it just means you learn differently. So now, yes, I am comfortable with everybody knowing what I have exactly. So it depends. Sometimes I'm uncomfortable because I feel like the questions that I ask aren't like they're stupid, and other people just look at me like I am stupid. And other times I'm comfortable in a class setting. It just depends what we're learning.
Like in any class, if like a teacher asks me to read, I don't want to read because I have like dyslexia and like messes up my words, and it's hard for me to read and I get embarrassed. So I'd rather not read, and then I'll be fine in class.
So when I was in Catholic school, I would always get made fun of. I would always get called a retard. I would always, they would drop the word special and make you just feel really bad about yourself, and you feel like shit. And you realize that you were different. And as I got older, I realized that being different is okay. It's normal. It's who I am, and I like it.
Just keep your head up and don't shut yourself down because you feel different, because really you're not different at all. And just keep pushing forward, and you can be whatever you want to be.
When asked if they were aware of ableism, every interviewee answered no. Here are some of their thoughts on this type of discrimination existing.
I feel like upset about it because like there's really nothing wrong. It's just they just need a little bit more help because they have like a disability, or they can't concentrate, or they just that just upsets me because like we're not different. If we get a little bit more attention, we can be just like anybody else. So like sometimes you don't even need the attention. It's just that really upsets me because there's nothing wrong.
The fact that ableism is even a word is proof that like, people are messed up to even have, like, so many people do that. I swear there's a word for it, which just messes with my head.
I think like any other type of discrimination, I'm sure that it's present. I know it's present. And it's wrong. I wonder if I've even been an ableist.
Staff and students of the Arts Academy at Benjamin Rush share their thoughts on the special education program, and more specifically, the learning support at the school.
It's a little different because like they put us into the regular classes, like the school Anne Frank, you were in a Pacific class, and Baldy you were in a Pacific class. Like you couldn't, like you weren't in the regular classes with everybody else, and I feel as though right now it's better if you're in the regular class because like you're learning the same thing at the same time as everybody else, and it shows them that you can learn everything that they can learn at this like. But yeah, that's how it was different. But
This school is amazing as far as it goes with special needs. Like, all around, this school has been amazing. And I couldn't complain about anything. The teachers were extremely nice. The teachers helped me out every chance they got. Meanwhile, they have a class of 20 students that need just as much help. They find a way to get it around everybody. It's amazing.
have more special ed teachers, learning support teachers, and I think that will be fun because one person can't go to everybody. Like one person can't go to every class and just keep on moving around. It will wear them out, and it just takes up too much time. So we need more learning support teachers.
Ms. Loina is a Spanish teacher, and Ms. Matias is a physics and algebra 2 teacher. Talk about struggles and/or benefits of teaching their classes with special education students in
I
them.
approach special education students just like any other student. Is that necessarily always the case? Probably not, to be very honest. Definitely, I try to make myself aware of my students who have special needs before I meet them. In the school year, we normally find out in the summer, so that I can just become aware if they do have special needs, if they need to sit towards the front, if they get distracted easily, or if I know that they're going to need extra supports, or if they need notes printed for them, or whatever it is. I also like to try to get in touch with if they're working with another adult, so that we have a relationship so that we can better serve the student.
I have found that a lot of times when students are labeled special ed, they feel that means they're not able to do the work. But I feel like in every class, every year, it's a new chance for them to either make that the truth or break that stereotype. And what I have found throughout the years is that I have had students who are students with special education issues that can do the work, if not the same, even better than some of my other students who are not. But a lot of times they don't know that until I push them to do it. And at the beginning I was kind of hesitant about how do you work with special education students. And I found that for me so far, this is the best way that works. And even though a lot of them struggle throughout the entire year, when they finish or when they complete something, when they do their assignments, they're very proud of it and they feel like they can actually move on and they can actually be part of the class.
There's challenges with all students. Everyone's different, right? And I think, with special education students, it pushes me because there's literally, students who are labeled as special ed, a lot of times have papers called IEPs, and legally we're bound to follow those IEPs, and if not, we're technically breaking the law. So it forced me as a teacher to honestly be a better teacher, because some of these things I need to do for students, for special needs students, actually benefit all of my students, not just my students with special needs. So it's just asking, I might need to make some extra worksheets to help them understand a topic, but really that worksheet could be used for any of my students who are struggling.
I think that teaching comes with a lot of challenges, and having students who are special education have its own challenges. So I think that one of the biggest challenges is finding time to meet with these students. A lot of time they need the extra support for the class, and I have never had a teacher come in to work with the students in the language classroom. A lot of times they have them for math, they have them for English. I don't know that they have them for other classes, but I have never had any support inside my classroom to work with students that are learning a second language. I understand that their second language credits are not as big as a priority as it is for them to pass their math and pass their English, because they have to have a certain amount of credits by the time they graduate, and they only need 2 credits of a language, so they have more room to catch up in case that they don't pass a class. I'm not sure that that's the way that it's looked at, but I do know that it really depends on the type of student what the challenges could be. I try to meet with my students before and after class. So usually I have a group of students, they come in during advisory to work on their homework, so that the next day when we go over it in class, they have it done, they know what it is that they have to do, and they feel like they can participate. When I'm not able to give them that time, if the work doesn't get done, that tends to put students to fall behind, and they just fall in a cycle that it's really hard for them to get out of, because then I'm piling up more work and more work on top of it, and then they need more and more time to keep up with the class, and that becomes an issue. In terms of my biggest challenges, I would say, are not so much dealing with the students, but how the students deal with each other.
Teachers and students from the Arts Academy at Benjamin Rush all have different feelings, struggles, and perspectives about the special education system. Despite those differences, it is evident that teachers and students work together to create the best learning environment for everyone.